I've never found this thing to work perfectly the first time.
It just has to do with
It's always a little janky.
Okay, let's see if anybody.
It's a hell of a way to greet people if they're just blowing in there.
Yeah.
Welcome to Farts and Barfs.
Welcome to Farts and Burps. Oh, I should probably pull this stuff up too while we're sitting here. Actually, I can do that on my phone later. That's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We can get it started. That's fine.
All right.
Hi. Hello.
I didn't even see you doing that. I was so focused on watching the screen, I didn't see the ridiculous pose.
I was just making a dumb pose, so don't worry about it. For those of you listening to the audio portion only, hello and welcome to episode 281 of the Hooniverse podcast, closing in on 300.
Yeah, just another half a year to go or so.
Yeah, it feels like it happens more quickly than that, though. I know the numbers, how it's spread out, but it feels like it always happens quicker.
I think TST just hit 400.
400?
I think it was.
Fuck. That's a lot.
But they picked up they're doing more than one a week, though.
Right. Yeah, they picked up the pace. That's true.
You know, they started doing that, I think, I don't know, a year ago or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, that's true. That's true. So we haven't been back in the studio for a bit. It feels good to be back on a surprisingly cold California evening.
Yes, hence why Jeff still has his jacket on.
Yep. And I think I spilled coffee in my shirt underneath anyway. So, but that's on a lot of my shirts. All right. So we're going to dive in with the news. This is a standard podcast since we don't have a guest. We're going to dive in, and I'm going to kick things off with a bit of news about the Chevy Silverado HD. Well, and the Ram HD too, but I'm using this picture because this is the new king.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking the design language on this one.
That's not why it's king, but I agree with you. I like it.
Yeah.
The Silverado HD and the Ram HD can both tow over 35,000 pounds.
That's a lot of pounds.
Who needs to tow that much without commercial licenses?
I don't know. The scary thing is that you could have somebody now just with a regular license towing what should have been a commercial amount.
It's because I posted this question on Twitter because I didn't actually know. So the just for those of you curious, the Ram HD the Silverado HD is the new king. Ram announced first at Detroit.
Yeah,
1,000 pound-feet of torque, which is the big news. 35,100 pounds. The Silverado, which the news came out today because I think they're hosting an event. 35,500 pounds through 910 pounds.
So they cranked up a quarter pound of boost on the turbocharger. Just to go, we need just a little more.
They were probably waiting for Ram to announce just so they could come out with their.
It's a stupid pissing match between the three of them.
Yeah.
Because literally all it is one of them's just going to go and crank up the boost slightly next year.
That's so much weight behind you. That is so much weight. So I posted a question on Twitter because I genuinely didn't know if you have a truck and you're going to tow that much, if you need a CDL. Some people said it varies by state. It's a gray area. If it's over 26,001 pounds, some of them said you need a certain license. Mm-hmm. Others said in my state you don't. So it's crazy to me that there's no flat across the board. Once you crest a certain weight, it's because that's so much weight.
I think it's interesting in that we're reaching power levels that are similar to those of commercial trucks.
Yeah,
but the duty cycle is not the same. Like a commercial truck they're basically all built to go millions of miles.
Right.
Versus these, so I'd love to get Banks on or something to talk again because I haven't talked to him in a good 2 or 3 years. Right. To talk okay, what are we really getting down to the difference here between a commercial engine and these consumer facing engines, because they're putting the power levels are very similar now.
Right. Yeah, they have to be close. So those are amazing numbers. I was curious which truck would be the first one to 1,000 pound-feet of torque, and of course it's Ram. It only makes sense. Yeah. It's like the Hellcat of heavy duty.
I do like though that on the new Chevy, the bow tie is just a very small, subtle little thing in the corner of the grill.
Here, pull it back up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I like that. I do like that. That's like
it's like the Polo.
Oddly classy.
It's like the Polo logo of pickup trucks
for like a truck that doesn't need to be classy. And I think whenever it has cab lights, that signifies that it's a heavy duty truck, at least from the factory. I believe that's the case usually for the big three trucks. But I don't know. So we're gonna move on though to sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the new Blazer was shown off too.
Yeah, but who cares?
I actually, well, the reason I bring it up is because the trucks, I think Chevy's truck designs right now are actually starting to be pretty damn good looking.
Yeah, but that Blazer's a travesty. I mean, it's a front wheel. It has nothing to do, especially because Ford was like, oh, have fun with the Blazer. We just took the Explorer back to a rear wheel drive based platform, so it's actually a truck again. But have fun with your new Blazer.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that, but at the same time, like they already have like the Bison and everything, which just plays in the same space.
Yeah, but that's a truck though, right? And the Bison is the Bison's a truck.
Yes.
But these are SUVs we're talking about, and the Blazer is 100% crossover.
I guess the question would be is where are you going to sell more of? Are you going to sell more of a Bronco that's a truck, or are you going to sell more?
I'm not even comparing it to the Bronco though. I'm comparing it to the Explorer.
Yeah. Okay, even the Explorer, but are you going to? The more crossover and the more car-like with the better fuel economy, what's going to actually be the bigger winner there?
I'm
posing that as an open question.
No, you're right. I hear what you're saying. And it is.
GM might be making the bet on like volume versus. I mean, not that the Explorer's ever going to come up short,
right?
But
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Either one will be, well, maybe not the Blazer, but I was going to say they'll be better than the Edge ST, but whatever.
I saw your review on that too, and I spent a little time in it. That thing is a pile of shit.
At the price point, it's a pile of shit. If it was $20,000 less, it'd be
I was wondering if you were ever going to bring up the Macan point because we talked about it, obviously, and I paid less for my Macan than that Edge ST is.
You could buy a brand new Macan it'd be a base Macan. Yeah. You could get a Macan.
I have a Macan S with literally every option other than the Porsche Sport exhaust.
Yeah.
And it was $41,000 used.
Significantly. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Right. You'd have to be high to buy the Ford over that.
Moving into something that is interesting, Range Rover has added a V8 to the Valar lineup. So this was primarily, turbo sixes and stuff like that. The Valar is it's insanely good looking.
The name is horrible.
The name doesn't bother me because it's a name. So I give it bonus points for just being a name, not alphanumeric. And this is it. The cool thing about the Valar is that it's like a concept version of the Range Rover Sport that they're just like, throw it in the lineup.
The only thing is the Valar reminds me of the former governor of Los Angeles, or the former mayor of Los Angeles. Everybody knows him as Villaraigosa.
Oh yeah,
but he changed his name to that for political purposes. His name was Tony Valar.
Yeah, he blended his name with his wife's name to make a new name.
Yeah,
terrible. Yeah. So this is great because, well, the problem with it is that it's limited. It's a 1 year only model for now, at least. They're going to make less than 2,000 of them globally, but it does get the supercharged 5-liter V8, and it's going to make 543 horsepower and has a horrible name. It is the Range Rover Valar SVA, so SV Autobiography Dynamic. So it's a dumb name. They should just call it like the SVR or something like that. But it is cool. A Valar with the supercharged V8. I mean, props to them. It's probably going to be at least $80,000.
They should sell it as the SVU and just have
SVU,
and then just have ice fucking promote the whole thing.
Yeah, I like that. He's a car guy. Now, a bit more fun bit of news is the fact, and this is not a picture of it, but this is a picture of a Charger Hellcat. The rumor is that for 2020 model year, we're going to get a wide body Charger Hellcat just like the Challenger. I am all about that.
I don't know what that's going to look like.
It's going to look good.
I don't know what it's going to look like on my car.
It's going to look good. It's going to look good. See, I could ditch that hood scoop because I know it needs it for the cooling, but I always prefer a little bit more incognito. So I would ditch the hood scoop. I love the F8.
You want to go incognito, but you want the giant fender flares.
No, well, yeah, okay. Fair point. I would ditch the hood scoop. I would keep the Fate Green or F8 Green, however you want to pronounce it. I would ditch the stripes, and then I would go with these look kind of like the bronze wheels, but I thought they had a more bronzier wheel than this. But those look like I thought whatever. The wheels are fine.
They're like a dark copper / bronzy color.
So either way, I mean, wide body because the wide body Challenger looks really good.
It does. I just don't know how that'll scale to the sedan.
It's hard.
Because wide bodies on sedans sometimes look wonky.
I agree. You
know.
I am holding out high hope though. So I think it could be pretty dope. We'll see.
I would be on board with you if like they did a very stealthy version of that car that had a much more subtle version of the scoop and everything that was like, oh, by the way, I'm fast as fuck.
Right.
Kind of like, it's one thing that I kind of like about the CTS-V is that it's not screaming for attention as much.
Yeah.
So
Ski Bum 291, thank you for some super chat. He writes, full-size tractor trailers haul 44 to 45,000, and they take a ton of room to stop. That the fact that they're selling dualies like this is sketchy, and I don't need. It has to be a dually to hit the max tow package, I would assume.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think that you could probably get a heavy enough duty axle setup on there with the conventional single.
I don't think so. It's usually the dualies get the max tow rating. I mean, I think here. Now I'm even though
and it's also a safety thing too, because that gives you room for a blowout on on at least
I never thought of it that way.
side.
I never thought of it that way. That's true. All right.
That's a lot of the reason why trucks double up. It's for redundancy purposes. So
there you go. There you go. Someone also wrote, again, Ski Bump, if they're hauling commercial, they would need MC number and dot number over 26 pounds. But that's commercial. I'm just talking about a dude with like a travel trailer and dirt bikes and all the shit he could stuff in there. He's like, I could put more toys behind my rig now because he can do it.
I'm gonna tow 10,000 kittens.
I'm a kitten man. I don't know why. So we're jumping to some questions, which I'm looking at on my phone. So give me a minute if I'm slow here. Patreon first, because minus Ski Bum in this chat, they're better than everybody else.
Ski Bum's always got good things to chime in.
Well, he also just gave us money. Louis Correa writes, this is a weird Celtics question, so this has nothing to do with cars, but I don't care. Louis Correa asked, thoughts on Danny is trying to convince the Pelicans to hold out on trading AD Anthony Davis till the summer so they can potentially get him in exchange for Tatum or Kyrie. It's not going to happen. Anthony Davis wants to go to the Lakers. I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. I really hope Kyrie resigns with us, and Tatum, I hope they both stay. Kyrie had that bullshit moment. Well, it's not a bullshit moment. He's human. He lashed out. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's going to remain a Celtic. We will stay tuned on that.
I don't keep on it well enough. I will watch the Celtics every now and then, but
I have tickets lined up for the game when they come to play the Lakers, and I'm very excited about that.
Oh yeah.
Dan Mosqueda, so what is your favorite die-cast model? Do you still collect, and what scale? I don't actively collect, but if someone reaches out and wants me to review stuff, I will review it. So we've reviewed some of the resin stuff from Automodello in the past. If I'm at the grocery store, I will peek at the Hot Wheels because they're $1, and my daughter likes to get them too. So I'm not actively collecting. Dan Mosqueda just helped us with an article on Hooniverse, though, with some 1/43rd scale stuff from DNA Collectibles. I should actually pull this up because the quality of these is really, really impressive. What they're doing at 1/43rd scale. So like you just think, like Hot Wheels scale for that sort of stuff. Oh, wrong article. So you think Hot Wheels at 1/43rd scale, but it's really impressive, especially when you see the interior. So these are from DNA Collectibles, and the two vehicles we covered. So that's a Volvo XC70 wagon cross country. And then I got to scroll down. So look at, this quality on the Saab is awesome.
The Saab,
look at the interior. Look at that interior at 1/43rd scale. That is fucking awesome. Like the pedals, the drilled pedals and the shift knob.
It looks like a shitty photograph of a full-size car.
Yeah, like you didn't snap it right. And then this Volvo, I think we have one more of they got the badging, the font is perfect, all that stuff. And then if you can see inside, I forget who took these photos too. Somebody at Live and Let Diecast. Like that looks like fresh leather in there. Like it's just really well done from these guys. I don't think they're cheap, but I also don't think they're crazy. So $60, which compares better, I guess, to limited versions. For limited version, cheaper versions by Spark. I guess one of them. Okay, so this says $60 US for some of these cars. So it sounds like they range between 60 and 100. Tons of money for 1/430. 43rd scale cars, but the quality is excellent, and they make stuff that's interesting. It's not just like, look at this vintage Ferrari, look at this vintage race car. It's like somebody might love the V70 or the 9.3 Vision, and which makes sense if they're on Hooniverse, to be totally honest. So the scale is pretty awesome there.
Hold on, let me look up and see if I can get a 1989 Nissan Stanza.
Yeah,
I
mean, you never know. Ben Rife.
Oh,
you're right there.
Yeah, I just accidentally slid there for a second. I put a little torque on the footrest and It slid me over.
Ben Rife. So everyone knows that our phones track everything we do. Now that cars have internet capability and GPS, how much are car companies collecting and selling that data too? I think I was the first person ever to realize how shady OnStar is and was.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's going to depend. I mean, you'll be able to see it all in an end user license agreement that they'll hit you with either at the time of purchase or when you boot up the nav system in your car and it'll go, hey, by the way, we're going to steal everything you do and tell everybody about it everywhere you go.
Right.
Most of them are not really doing that as of yet, because quite frankly, most of the people building the operating systems in cars can basically get basic functionality working.
Yeah.
Never mind actually getting more advanced stuff going. Detroit's just way behind the ball on things like data acquisition and stuff like that for data mining on the kind of stuff, on the kind of front that we're used to seeing, especially on Android devices. That said, that day will come.
Oh yeah.
And there's going to be a big fight, I guarantee, at some point over whether or not insurance companies are going to be able to mandate you do that.
Yeah. Right. You're right.
So.
Craig on McBride. Craig on. Mitsubishi pulls their head out of their ass and puts the following to a public vote. We're reviving one of our legendary sports cars in its best trim, but you can only vote for one. A, Evo. B, Eclipse GSX. C, 3000 GT VR4. Which one gets my vote? Bonus question, which one actually makes the most sense? That is tough. I would I want to say the 3000 GT just because I'm a child of that era of sports car, but I would vote for the
but the Eclipse was also right in that same
I never had love for the Eclipse except the early Conquest era Eclipses.
I didn't
love the swoopy.
I loved the first and especially the second gen Eclipse. That said, I mean, you're splitting some hairs architecturally between some of the Eclipse stuff and some of the early Evo stuff too.
Yeah.
The Evos Evo. I don't like the Evo 10, but I love the Evo 9.
The Evo, and Farrah and I always joke about this, that the Evo is the best powertrain wrapped around the worst car, or hidden underneath the worst car. That car was so much fun to drive. And there was one of my favorite videos that I saw years ago posted in the car lounge that somebody modified their Evo like crazy so it could rev so much higher. Like they built the shit out of this engine. And the Evo gauge cluster swings around to where you select the all-wheel drive setup that you want. Yeah. So like, somebody comments on the video like, holy shit, it redlines at gravel. I was like, that's the best.
Yeah.
Which one makes the most sense? I would argue Evo just because it's the most remembered.
The Evo has the most love for it.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that if they built an Evo without a shit interior, they could easily go. I mean, Subaru needs a real competitor.
Yeah.
And they could do it if they put an ounce of energy into it. But apparently, just this last month, Mitsubishi sold a net of -3 Lancers.
I saw that.
Which I'm not even entirely sure is possible.
They just weren't selling them anymore, and then 3 got recalled. I don't even know.
I'm guessing they were maybe lemoned or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Birdie Redfern, a bit of a tech question, so possibly aimed more at Chris. Definitely aimed more at Chris. Whilst I understand why people now do the YouTube podcast, I tend to only listen via Shout Engine when I'm tinkering with cars.
Thank you.
More people listen via Shout Engine.
Yeah, way more.
The problem, therefore, is when you show pictures, only the YouTube viewers see them. Yep, we get that. Question, would it be possible for Shout Engine to run as an app on my phone, which is audio when locked, with the slideshow of pictures when unlocked? Therefore, I just listen, but if I want to see what you're talking about, I unlock my phone to see the picture being discussed. That sounds very complicated.
Is it possible? Yes. The problem is the market for that is very, very small.
Seems like a lot of dev work would go into that.
Yeah.
Well, also a lot of work on our end, too, after each podcast to be like, this picture comes up at this time.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem with it, is that you're just dealing with the big problem with like a lot of the ways that MP3s are delivered for podcasts is that we're dealing with technology here that's about 20 years old. Like all of this stuff goes way back to.
I only use MP7.
Oh, okay. Well, it goes back to RSS feeds and stuff like that from the mid 90s. So we've not a lot of the problems with like analytics and deliverability, and like no podcasts are truly streamed. It's faked on the back end.
Right.
It's because we're trying to keep compatibility with a billion different things that are adhering to a 20-year-old standard. So while we could do that, honestly, it'd be such a niche thing that it's just not worth chasing, because people, generally speaking, either go full audio or they go to video. And we try to, at least describe what we're talking about and keep the video stuff to a minimum.
We try. Doesn't always work, but we try.
But we'll be more cognizant of it. You bringing that fact up.
No, we won't.
I will.
Vince Faber has a good question on YouTube. Jeff and Chris, what's the car you're most anticipated? What's one you're most excited to see this year?
To see this year?
Yeah, this coming year.
I really want to drive the 992.
992, not mid-engine vet.
We won't get that.
Yeah,
this
but
year.
this just says to see.
To see?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's nothing else really that's on the timeline that I'm like waiting to see. To drive the 992 this year, because we'll get it. It'll be out this year.
Okay.
The C8, yeah, that'll be cool to see. I mean, I think we all pretty much know what we're going to get at this point.
Yeah. For me, it's probably, I really want to, I guess C is, I'd be really curious about the mid-engine vet. I care less about the 911. So that's probably way.
But the 911 hasn't changed that much.
Right. I mean, it looks, I'm sure it's just amazing. And then, yeah, that's probably it. What I really want to get my hands on are some of the latest electrics coming out, to be totally honest. I really want to drive the Mercedes EQC. I really want to drive the Audi e-tron. I would love to get my
I want to drive the new Kia electric too, the little SUV.
I got to answer this question because Slick Pete thinks we're avoiding it. Seems all these automotive YouTubers don't want to address the GM issue regarding moving plants to Mexico. From what I noticed, asking them, guessing they are afraid to get blacklisted for press cars. I don't give a fuck about answering. They're not going to,
and they pay no attention to that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if working conditions were better for these automakers here in the States, they would make that shit work. I like it when things are made in America. Not everything can be made in America. We are a global economy these days, and that's what happens.
That's the key right there. It's a global economy.
Steel prices go up, and you start.
Their board of directors and the CEO have a fiduciary responsibility to investors to make the most profit.
I wish people weren't losing their jobs. Obviously,
right? But I mean, realistically, there's not. I mean, if you're talking a publicly traded company, there's no such thing as an American company or a German company, because they have to do what's in the best interest of the shareholders. If what's in the best interest in terms of profitability is to move the plant to Mexico or Norway or wherever the hell, they have to do it.
I would love to see a guy like Bowling Green move to Norway just for the shits and giggles of it. I don't want that to actually happen. But the funny thing is too, Kia comes out with a Super Bowl commercial where they tout. I mean, it wasn't the best execution in terms of delivery of the commercial, but the message was, hey, we're making a bunch of shit right here in Georgia. And everybody's like, this commercial's dumb. And then, the whole GM thing, whatever.
The other thing that I don't think a lot of people are taking into account yet is that both GM and Ford are clearly doing this, and that they're battening down the hatches for the storm coming. We are right on the precipice of a major economic downturn, probably in the next 18 months. And they're going, shit, we got to get our stuff together before that hits and we get caught with our pants down.
Yeah.
Again, realities of a publicly traded company and them just doing all this stuff. It sucks for a lot of people. I'm not discounting that, but it's the realities of operating a really big company like that.
Yeah. Jumping to Twitter questions, Motoman asked one at Motoman TV. He basically spoils my
George,
news.
I owe you a phone call.
He spoils my news for the rest of the podcast. Why did you buy a Montero over a First-Gen Landrover? So, if you don't know, I just bought a 1991 Mitsubishi Montero. So that Mitsubishi question was prescient. I bought it over a First-Gen Landrover because the person I was dealing with on a potential Range Rover purchase never got back to me once I made them an offer on price, which is fine because that would have been a nightmare.
Well, and I imagine you also wanted a car that would start and run.
Yeah, but this was I was actually looking at a Range Rover Classic, and it was a very rare Hunter edition, which I'd never heard of before. It was a low trim that had no ABS, manual windows, I think, or manual seats, cloth seats. So it was really interesting. It was like a down.
I'm just thinking of the Dennis Reynolds edition where it's just duct tape and zip ties all on the back of it.
These are my tools. No, it was
the implications.
They made like between 400 and 500 of these, so like not a lot of them. Yeah. And this one had a little bit of an oil leak, and so it was, you know, I was very interested in it, but the person, we didn't meet on price, so whatever. I didn't buy it, and then I found a great Montero nearby. I actually test drove 2 of them, but we will get into more. I bought the Montero because they run and drive, and it's cheaper.
It just
short answer.
And they never stop but remind me of the Canyonero from The Simpsons.
Yeah, Hooniverse. Sebastian, the Wookiee LaForge, asked thoughts on Ford going back to a pushrod V8 for heavy duty pickup applications. I assume it's just to handle it all.
It's
tried and true tech.
That and that 5.4 liter motor is a pile of shit.
And they just announced a new 7.3 liter as well.
They did.
Yeah. I mean, it's just old tech that works well, and in a big dumb truck, that's what you want.
There's a reason that when Chrysler went, we need a whole new V8 architecture. They went, okay, we're going to steal a bunch of stuff from the LS and then do some other things.
Sam Stein at Samuel_Steinuel. Besides the manual transmission, what automotive feature going the way of the dodo bird are you going to miss the most?
Dipstick.
I just got one of my favorite things back with my Montero.
What's that?
Quarter windows.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yes. My F100 had them. My Mercedes is the first year that it doesn't have them, to the point where I thought about swapping in 73 doors.
Yeah.
And I have them back, and they're real and they're magnificent.
I'm thinking it's probably going to be a safety thing that they largely don't exist anymore.
I don't know. Probably. It's got to be something.
Well, everything's got some massive A-pillar on it now.
That's true. Here's an interesting question. Mr. Hoffman at SimpMod. Will the 500 Abarth ever appreciate?
No.
The best driving Fiat 500 is the electric one anyway, and you can buy those for like a pack of cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. And you should. They're great for what they are.
Yeah, they are. They really are good. I'm just scrolling to see if there's any Twitter questions because it was filled with a bunch of other crap. But no, the Fiat 500 Abarth, no. I mean, maybe in 50 years when there are honestly only EVs left.
If your choice is an Abarth or a Fiesta ST, get the Fiesta ST. I think the Fiesta ST will be a classic at some point in the future. Kind of like a first generation GTI is now.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that. Like the part of the last, even though that has electric power steering, correct?
Yeah, it does, but it actually has really good electric power steering.
That's when Ford was getting their shit together right before that car on the electric power steering. So yeah. I get it.
And the new Fiesta that only Europe gets is supposed to be fantastic.
Now, speaking of the Fiesta, is that something we can talk about? You don't have to say to who, but
yeah. So the Fiesta is going away this weekend, and the new owner, I think, will probably record something with him.
Okay. Yeah. So Chris is selling. It's basically sold, right?
Oh yeah, it's sold. It's going to a good friend of mine, and it's unfortunate, but he needs a car, and I can't have 3 vehicles when I live in an apartment.
Why does he need a car? Doesn't he have like 3 cars?
He does, but one is currently being held hostage. One is equally as unpractical as one of my cars, and the other one is a redundant vehicle that he probably shouldn't have bought in the first place.
Pro Driver 33 asks, buying a used Audi S8, should I just jump off a bridge now? Yes, but it'll be fun on the way down, especially if it's a V10.
And unless it's the V10, don't buy it.
Put an exhaust on it and pretend you have a Gallardo sedan.
That's like going, hey, I know she's going to give me herpes. Well, then why'd you pick the ugly one?
Because she's. Oh yeah. Any other car news for you? What's going on with your fleet?
I am. So I'm hardwiring radar detector into the Macan. So that kit will be here, I think, tomorrow. So that'll be done, and then bit the bullet and bought some tires for the vet.
Nice. What'd you get?
PS4s.
Good choice. Did you see Larry's video, Larry Casillo, Ammo NYC, of his radar detector install?
Yes, I did.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. So I know Larry rather well.
That is a great
system. And I know what he just did. And I hope that they gave him a big discount with that video because
they gave it to him for free.
I don't know, free, but probably a big discount.
Larry's really good at getting shit for free too.
He is. Yeah, because that was probably, if you or I walked in there not knowing those guys, $7,000 or $8,000 install
with the custom rearview mirror. That rearview mirror was so badass.
Yeah.
The way it was installed,
Yeah.
and then the fact that he's like that he doesn't have laser jammers, but he has a signal scatterer, which isn't illegal yet.
Well, laser is regulated by the FDA.
I know
that's
true.
Been a story for years and years. So, and that's the trick is you don't want to like. There is no such thing as a jammer, but if you fuck up the gun so it can't read it right, then it's not admissible in court.
Right. And then we had, because our friend Jason Connor, basically, we talked about this system in a video. He had a K40 installed, a hidden system for him, very well installed, very cool system. And
what car did you install that on?
Focus ST.
Oh,
the Mountoon Rocket, or whatever the fuck you called it. So that was a great system with a scatterer, which was a gray area in California, but
oh no, it's FDA.
The crazy thing is though, when he would drive onto base, because he's in the Navy, it would give an error code and that whole system would shut down.
Mm-hmm.
The Navy has something that just was like, nope.
Yes, military bases you are not allowed to have radar detectors and jammers.
But
and
it had stuff that does. It's like there's something that.
Oh yeah. There is circuitry in those that literally shuts them down for certain things.
So that's sick. That's so sick.
If you were to drive close enough to an airport, to like a radar tower, it'll shut it down too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Every now and then I would get a when we used to record at Farrah's house a long time ago, and I still ran a radar detector, I would get hit a laser alert driving at the end of the 105 down past the left side of the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Yeah, from the radar systems that would set off the laser detection.
Yeah, right.
as weird as that sounds,
right.
That's how it works.
Okay, so yeah, that video, if you haven't seen Larry's on his Ammo NYC channel, go watch his crazy ass awesome radar install.
It's exactly what I would call typical Larry. It's way overdone, and I appreciate that greatly.
And so cleanly done though too.
Yes.
So good for him.
Yeah.
So my first drive of the Audi Q8 is up. I drove the Audi Q8.
The Quate.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's
I like the old diesel ones.
Well, they never did a Q8 diesel.
Well, they did the Q7 diesel.
Yeah. So this is same wheelbase as the Q7. There's no third row, so the interior room is still good. They do not call it a coupe. They actively don't call it a coupe. Thank God.
Yeah.
There's 4 fucking doors. I hate like the GLE coupe, the blah 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 blah. It drives better than the Q7 because it comes standard with the adaptive steel suspension, and then the optional air. There's optional air suspension. The only thing is the optional air suspension does get you rear steer and maybe sport diff, but the base the base one with the standard steel adaptive suspension was great. Flat. It cornered really well. We drove it on road. We drove it off road. We put a shit ton of miles on these. We started in Park City. We drove to Gateway, Colorado, which I'd never heard of and is insanely beautiful. And then we finished in Telluride. So highway driving, twisty stuff, dirt, and then 9 to 10 to 12,000, not about between 9 and 10,000 feet at the base of Telluride.
Is that the 4-liter turbo?
No, the Q8 only comes with the 3-liter turbo, even though everybody in my video, the comments were correcting me saying it's the supercharged 6, and it's not. It is the turbocharged 6.
No, the supercharged motors died with the last generation of the SQ5 and everything, because now that and the Porsches all, like the SQ5 and the Macans share an engine block, but one was turbocharged and one was supercharged. And now I believe they're all just using the Porsche design.
And they still have the same stupid designation though, where it was TFSI. So the that's why people are confused. So I get it. And then the
Q7 now it's correct.
Still come, right? The Q7 you could initially still get it with the supercharged engine, so there's that confusion too. So I get it. I assure you the Q8 is turbocharged though. So it makes 335 horse. It weighs 5,000 pounds. But when you have it moving, it's moving. And I think minus the head-on view, it's a sharp-looking machine. It was comfortable. Their latest tech, they're probably leading in that space. It's really good infotainment.
Yeah, and as far as like you were saying, the engine's probably a little lumpy off the line, right? It's not great.
It was more, honestly, we were on some steep climbing sections. There's a semi-truck in front of you. You finally hit a passing zone. You've been cruising in 8th gear, because the transmission's doing its thing. Yeah. So when you step out to step on it and you're going uphill at 9,000 feet above sea level, it's like, You're like, okay, and then it goes. So it needed to drop 3 gears.
Yeah. You know. Well, the other thing that I've noticed is like on my car, the throttle mapping, the VW Auto Group on those 6-cylinders sucks from the factory. It's very, very timid. And I think that's basically like, so soccer moms and dads don't go piling them into Timmy on the way to pick up the other kids.
Maybe. The thing is good though, but I cannot wait for it's either the S or the RSQ8, whichever one we're going to get, which will have the 4-liter twin turbo.
That'll probably just be the SQ8. Be my guess.
No, rumor is that it's going to be an RSQ8.
Really?
Yeah, like 600 horse, like legit, like an Audi Urus. So
VW Auto Group. Let's outdo ourselves with SUVs over and over.
Yeah, well, 60% of Audi America sales last year, crossovers.
Yeah.
It's going to rise because they're now Q3, Q8, e-tron. It's going to be even more.
I think because I was looking at all the VW Auto Group numbers too, and I know 50% of Porsche sales were the Macan last year.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. So now speaking of Porsche, I just had a revelatory experience. I drove.
Oh yes, that's a very nice. Yeah.
I drove the Panamera Sport Turismo, and it's just the fucking best.
AKA the wagon.
I drove the wagon Panamera, and I loved it so much. And I always say I'm not a Porsche guy. I'm not a Porsche guy. I don't. You know, and then you get in it, you sit in it, you drive it, you feel the steering wheel, and then you're just like, this makes so much sense.
You're like, it's always good.
This makes so much sense. I'm going to pull up a picture of the Porsche. Let me pull up.
You know what? Here's the thing, is that I've come to the conclusion, it's not like I'm a quote-unquote Porsche guy, nor are a lot of people I know. It's that you're a fan of really good things, and most of the things they build are very good.
I like the finer things in life. We're the Finer Things Club. I got to pull up a picture of this Porsche so that people can see it. Sorry, shout engine folks. This is just hot sex on wheels. This is a picture from my Instagram at Hooniverse Jeff. I have my mountain bike mounted on top. This car is like, this car isn't even, a top spec car. It's a 4S. It gets the 2.9 liter twin turbocharged 440 horsepower V6. Right.
But it's not the Turbo S, which is
600,
I believe.
There are 2 levels above this.
Yeah.
There's a Turbo S, Turbo and Turbo S, which make 550 horsepower.
Yeah.
Then there's a Turbo S E Hybrid, which makes 680 motherfucking horsepower. It starts at $192,000. And it's Porsche, so it's easily going to be 220 when you're done. That car was wearing 21-inch wheels, which seems like overkill, but they filled the wells perfectly. 315 square stance.
Yeah, you had mentioned that.
My daughter loved it. I loved it. The video will be out probably in a week or so. I can't even. It's so good.
The funny thing is, it's a station wagon that is more costly than many people that listen to this, their homes.
This one was at 128 as tested. And I loved it. And I say in the video that my aspirational car has always been an E63 wagon. Someday.
Has that changed now?
Maybe. It might have changed. The thing I always loved about the E63 is that there's a sleeper element to it. It looks like an E-Class wagon. You look quick, you go, oh, look at the fenders, look at the wheels, look at the brakes. The car person knows, somebody wrote my house is $75,000. The car person knows, like, oh shit, E63, wow, that's really rare. And then I love the sleeper aspect of it, but then the Porsche, and you're like, there's nothing sleeper about it because it's a Porsche.
Yeah.
It's not crazy in your face, but it's still a Porsche.
Yeah. And they've actually, mechanically, from what I understand, the first gen cars all held up pretty well mechanically. So those are actually pretty good value in the used market. So these things are crazy expensive now, but 5 or 6 years from now, you might be able to score one for the bargain price of $90,000 or $100,000.
Maybe.
But
I don't know. It was so good.
Yeah.
I usually don't send a text to the PR person and be like, oh man, that car was great. Like when the review comes out, they'll see it. I sent a text to the Porsche guy. I'm like, that car was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. I also, when a car goes away, I'm fine with it. I've had my time with it. It goes away. I didn't want this one to go away.
I remember
That's rare.
when I was buying my car, there was a Sport Turismo on the lot it was the Turbo S with the hybrid system, and the sticker price was $262,000, I believe it was.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, the GTS version is 161 base to start, or something like that. Now, back to more normal vehicles. You already know this because I already said it, but I bought a Montero. Let's put up a picture of that now. I shot this picture today. That is my Montero. That is exactly how I bought it.
For people listening, it looks like a Mitsubishi Montero.
Minus the Hooniverse sticker I put in that back window. So, we can leave this up for a few minutes while we talk about it.
Okay, so tan and white?
No, it's like dark tan on light tan. Okay. Yeah, that's like brown on brown for sure.
Okay.
I'm going to be removing that brush guard and those Hellas because I bought a different
What about
grill.
the snorkel?
I'm keeping the snorkel for now. I have no issues with the snorkel because I also think you have to cut into the fender to put the snorkel on.
Yeah, probably.
So it's better to just keep it on. There's a different grill that I'm putting in here. So there's a company in Korea called Mohinic, which basically turns these into South Korean G-Wagons. So they do some really high-end, like crazy expensive shit over there. With first-gen Montero, I swear to God, like full wood interior. They do crazy shit, full body off stuff. But they make this grill that is this real simple grill, real basic, just black grill that makes it look slightly more old school. And I love it. So I bought that. I found one on eBay and I ordered it before I finalized the purchase of this truck. So the brush guard's coming off. I want to take the bumper, I want to take the end caps of the bumper off and paint the bumper black. And get rid of the chrome.
Yeah.
The wheels and tires.
You know what? Better yet, get it powder coated.
Oh yeah, that's a better idea.
Yeah.
The wheels and tires I'm swapping out. I'm thinking about some Turbomac HDs. There's that new 1552 off-road or truck style tire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that, or there's a set of Motegis I like, and then obviously KO2s, which is the go-to. This was towed a lot. This was towed a lot behind an RV, so the chassis has high miles. The chassis has over 300,000 miles.
Yeah.
But underneath it looks super clean. It looks super clean underneath. The engine was rebuilt less than 1,200 miles ago. And apparently, my engine and trans combination is a rare one, or less common. Maybe not rare, but less common. So I have the 3-liter V6 with the 5-speed manual. Every other one I was finding online is either the 4-cylinder with the stick or the V6 with the auto.
Yeah, which are both painfully slow, especially the 4-cylinder.
This one feels, especially with the rebuild engine, I'm fine. I'm happy with it.
Do you know what it makes power-wise?
I think new they made like 168 horsepower. I don't even know. But it weighs less than 4,000 pounds too, because it's from 91. You know, where a modern SUV would weigh a ton. So it
rollover safety. What's that?
It also has a factory bouncy seat.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, which I guess it has cruise control on a manual as well. It has.
I've run into that before. My Honda had it.
This also has auto hubs instead of manual hubs, so I don't need to get out to switch. You can do it on the fly technically.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because it has 4-wheel drive. It's obviously a Montero. I'm stoked on it. My daughter, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. My daughter said, when I buy a car, I want to buy this one from you. I'm like, looking back, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That, first of all, that's fantastic to hear you say. Because she loves that the seats on it, I guess the driver's seat is ripped. I haven't even looked at it yet because it has those like sheepskin covers just on them. I'm like, I'm going to leave these on for now.
Well, in that era, it's either sheepskin or cabbie beads.
Yeah. I'm glad it doesn't have cabbie beads.
Cabbie beads are almost kind of fun though.
Yeah. There's not a ton of room behind that. Like I kind of just fit. Thankfully the steering wheel tilts. It has this warning light in it that says maintenance required. And I was asking I'm like, what is the deal with this? Like, I have no idea why that light is on. I don't know what it is. And I looked it up. It's an automatic light that was designed to come on at 50,000 miles, then 100,000 miles. And there's a switch in the back of the cluster that the service tech would then just use. It's a toggle switch. So it's a service interval light that you just turn on and off with the toggle switch.
So it's not even computer controlled. It's
mileage based.
That is hilarious.
So, and then the actual service bulletin for that is to, at a certain point, remove the light. Like at 120,000 miles, you pull the bolt.
So their fix for it is just disconnected.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's like peak.
Someone said
Mitsubishi.
our audio's in the red, by the way. I don't know if we've been yelling or if I was too close to the mic then, but
I don't know.
it looks fine on the screen, but a couple people said it's peaking. So I'll lean further back from the mic. How's that? So I'm very stoked on this truck. I already got the car seat in there. I've removed the prior owner stickers and applied 2 of my own, which is, the key to project car ownership. So
you are a sticker guy. I've never been a sticker guy.
Well, not a ton, just some few basic stickers. Now that I've bought the Montero, I'm selling the Benz. So the Benz is going to be for sale. Like it's not listed yet. I haven't posted it, but if anybody out there is looking for a W114 that is currently running, it's running anytime.
It's a very nice car for a project.
Well, it's a driver right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like if you wanted to do like a full restoration, it'd be a perfect candidate for that.
Yes, it would be, because it's a California car, so it's super clean underneath.
Yep.
The
honestly, just needs a little like paintless dent repair.
Yeah.
At most, paintless dent repair and a paint job. That thing would look pretty nice.
I have a paintless dent thing coming that I ordered that I'm going to try to pull a few of the dents myself, just like some of the minor, like just to see how that works.
Yeah,
and
prepare to be disappointed.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. Like I'm not expecting a lot. So
is it like one of the ones where you glue it on and it's got a little screw?
Yep.
Yeah, those don't work.
I've seen some YouTube examples of people testing them with the right sort of dent, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I've tried it before, and every single time it was just like, well, that was a waste of $12.
Okay. Yeah, it was super cheap. So again, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, the paintless guys, they've got these wands with like little balls on the end of them, and they work them through the panels.
I've seen that,
and
yeah.
It's artists. Like those guys are like artists.
Those guys are artists. So yes, the Benz is going to be listed for sale with an actual. I'm actually going to put it up soon. And I don't know. It'll be sad to see it go, but
it's so funny.
On to the next one.
You're like, I'm trading out on a Benz for a Montero.
Well, I'm also gaining like 15 years of automotive technology, and I can go more places with the Montero. So it'll be fun. I'm excited to start applying stuff on Montero.
Have you chatted with the people working on the Wombat at all, or
they're in a weird place because they're switching shops. So it's there. Monies have been paid. They're waiting to hear the news if they got this one place or this other place, and they're going to move all the cars and the lifts and all this stuff. So stay tuned for more on that.
Moving shop sucks.
Yeah.
I helped a friend do it once.
Yeah, it's not great. So if anybody out there knows anybody looking for a Benz, send them my way, jeff@hooniverse.com. If you are looking for a Benz, I'll give you, if you're a listener, I'll give you the listener price. I'm not going to say what it is over the air, but reach out. We can chat for sure.
California car, no rust. It's quite nice.
With a custom Clarion audio system. So
yes, with a way overdone audio system.
Yeah, it's awesome. Sounds really good. I drove it here tonight instead of the Montero because the Montero currently has one of the headlights is out. So
you should just go LED.
I am. I already ordered them. So this will be the third vehicle in a row where I've gone LED.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah. And the Montero drives nice. It shifts well. The very first day I drove it home, once it warmed up and I got off the highway, it was idling really low to the point where it was stalling and dying. It's like, what the fuck? And I just tweaked the idle. And, all right, it's fine.
Yeah.
So
did you order like a full LED kit for all the stuff, or did you just get headlights?
The plug-in headlights, just the headlights.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do the rest of the bulbs, just the headlights.
Yeah. She gets some interior lights and stuff like that.
Oh, I know. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, he makes a huge difference.
The one thing that bums me out is there's a gauge. There's a gauge cluster on top of the center stack where it's oil pressure, inclinometer, and voltage. And the previous owner says they were doing, they were fixing something with the oil gauge, and they broke the inclinometer, which sucks because that's such a cool little random thing to have.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to fix that. I've read how to fix it. I'm gonna see if mine is fixable. Basically, you drill a little hole.
Yeah.
In the back of it, you fill it with mineral oil, and then you epoxy over the hole, and then it works.
Okay.
Because it sits in that oil. Talking about that oil. How long until the Montero gets Clarion? I might do that M508 head unit, but they may have changed PR people, so I might be going to a different audio company now. So stay tuned.
You mean since
someone wrote Clarion Tero? I like
Yeah. Yes, our friend was there is no longer there.
A different friend you're even thinking of.
Oh, it's not another person now. Still. Do you have double din in that, or is that a single din?
It's chopped up, so I could fit either.
Dude, go double din and get a CarPlay head unit.
Yeah, but I really like I don't give a shit about CarPlay, and I know it works
it's
well,
so
but I
nice.
also like the way that M508 looks, and if I can get it free, I've already spent too much. I bought a bike rack for it already. Yakima makes a spare tire-based rack, so and that way you can open and shut without having this big heavy swingaways. So I'm actually super excited for that rack.
I was actually looking at CarPlay head units the other day because I'm going to do one in my mom's Camry, just because she's got a Bluetooth one in there, but it just sounds like shit. Mm-hmm. So it's really muffled when she tries to call people. So I'm like, I'll just swap it when I'm in Florida in April. And cheap CarPlay head units now are sub $300. They've gotten really, really affordable.
Thanks, Daps. Another super chat.
Okay.
So I'm stoked on the Montero. The Benz is going for sale. The Wombat is still, it's like the beach ball, the Apple beach ball. It's still spinning. Don't shut the process down yet. It's still spinning. And it's going to, don't force quit. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. I promise. If you have nicknames for the Montero, usually I'm very good at nicknaming. Hoon Truck, that wasn't
Dude, the Canyonero.
I can't just call it the Canyonero though. I'm trying to think of something that will fit on a California Legacy plate, which is 7 spaces. I was gonna call it Tony Montero, mm-hmm. and the license plate was gonna be Lil Friend, but it's kind of stupid. If it was a white Montero, I'd probably call it Tony Montero, just because that's kind of funny and kind of stupid.
How about just Beige plus plus?
Beige plus plus. I don't know. I might just not give it a nickname and call it the Montero, and because like the Benz is just the Benz, even though I kind of call it Sunday Morning, but that's not like a published name, because it's easy like Sunday Morning. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. And the Benz plate was once in I think it was a lucky score, A space Benz, just because it's so stupid. Makes me laugh every time. Sensible chuckle. Hoonterro. People thought of Hoonterro. I'm also contemplating not putting the word hoon in there, like thinking of something different, because we try to cram hoon down everything. And
my mind's something in the realm of like not a G-Wagon, something.
Not a G, yeah. Like JDM G-Wagon would be kind of, the doors shut really well. There's a good thunk to the doors.
That's it. It's the J-Wagon.
I thought about that, but I wonder if then they'd be like, with the Jew wagon. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? The Jew wagon, or can I call it the J wagon? Because I'm not JDM. The truck's JDM, but I don't know. J wagon might be kind of funny. I gotta ask my friend at Japanese Nostalgia Car if that's okay, or Blake. I gotta ask Blake if that's okay.
But Blake's not Japanese.
Yeah, but I can ask him if it's racist or not, and he'll tell me.
It's not. You're referring to the truck.
I want to be careful. I am woke. The woke wagon, we'll call it.
No, that's got to be a Subaru.
That'd be the vape wagon. Either way, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to talk about that one, bring you more news on it, and do all of that good stuff. And then I'm trying to think of what other cars. Videos coming soon. I just drove the Roush Stage 3 Mustang and the Roush F-150. The Mustang made 700.
Yeah, because they the con people hit me up about that one.
710 horsepower.
Yeah.
700, and it drove really well. And the Roush, the truck, makes 650 horsepower because it's a different blower.
You get a preview of the GT500.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the GT500 will actually be a bit more dialed in factory mental.
Well, it is, because it's also going to have the dual clutch.
Oh yeah, that
Tremec finally got somebody to take up the dual clutch contract.
Yeah, this Roush one has a stick, and it was good. So videos coming on those two. Actually, they're going to be in one video. I crammed the truck and the car into one video, so we'll see how that goes. Challenger Red Eye video is coming out, so stay tuned for that. 800 horsepower, so awesome. Drove my daughter to daycare, and it was great. And I drove to the airport on a rainy day in that car, it was fine, but it was funny.
One of those things where it's just a little too much throttle and just all the time, just catching yourself.
I told the person at valet, because you drop off at valet at Orange County, John Wayne Airport.
Yeah.
I recommend you do not move this car. I never tell them how to do their job on this car. This one should stay right here. The guy just goes, Yeah. Okay. Good idea. So they agreed with me. So there you go. So I'm trying to think if there's any. We're probably going to be traveling to Utah in a month or two. I think 2 months to drive side by sides. Honda has some new side by sides out, and they preemptively invited me to drive both of those. The Talon, I think it's the 1000X and the 1000R. So that'll be fun and different for the
They're Hondas. It'll be the king.
They gotta bite into Razor though. Polaris has all that. I think
yeah,
Polaris
but I mean,
is the brand market share.
It is, but like Honda's always, when it always comes to all that stuff, Honda's always just the best engineering.
Yes,
they just polish the shit out of everything.
So we get some cool shit coming up. So you have to go to Hooniverse.com to read that. Yeah. We talk about it here. We post the videos on the YouTube channel. But go to Hooniverse.com. Enjoy our new site layout.
The very attractive, freshly redesigned Hooniverse.com.
That's right. Chris, tell everybody about Shout Engine.
Well, Shout Engine is a website where you can go and listen to podcasts like the guy that wrote in earlier. You can also go and post up your podcasts and be able to get them out and online in about 2 minutes.
Yes. Apologies. The levels looked fine on the screen, so apologies for having some blown out audio for your ear holes. I need you to follow me on Instagram at HooniverseJeff. Follow at The Real Hooniverse. Follow me on Twitter at JGlucker. We're going to be Chris Limbright. We're going to be in the St. George area. So I don't know. I should get on the Everyday Driver podcast. That'd be fun. I can't just invite myself, but those guys are friends of the show.
Yes. And actually they called me today. So I will I'll put you in touch.
I don't know how much time I'll have because it's a very quick trip though. So, so at JGlucker on Twitter, at the Hooniverse, like and subscribe to, I got to say that for the YouTube channel because that's the way you do this. And then
ring the bell, ding ding.
Yeah, slam that bell, bitches.
Next week we'll be doing unboxings.
And then what the fuck was I just gonna say? Oh, go to iTunes because I think you still need to do that. Rate and review this podcast on iTunes.
Yeah. Tell
your friends. Help me sell my Mercedes. Do all that shit. Thank you for the super chat, folks. Thank you for the Patreon, folks.
Mm-hmm.
I should advertise the Patreon more. I'm the 30 loyal people that are in there. I love you so much. Kisses.
Mm-hmm.
Kisses. I'll have chocolates on your pillow this evening. And there you go. That was episode 281. We're closing in on 300. We will figure out what we're going to do for 300. We'll probably just going back to Four Sons. So if you're in Southern California, we're a ways out, but start thinking ahead 20 weeks from now, 19 weeks. We'll see you guys later. That's it. Right. That's the show. Bye.